Down the wrong hole. Shit tastes like sawdust too. Well guys, it's Andrew here from Eastonmade Wood Splitters today. Welcome back to the Eastonmade channel. I am out here in the wood yard, and I never ever thought I was ever gonna say this to anybody, but I'll tell you, I've got a great big deck. I've got a huge deck. Not only is the deck long, but it's also wide. This is probably the nicest deck you're gonna see on the internet. I gotta say, this is, like I said, nice and wide, nice long deck, and it's, here it is right here. Here's the deck. As you can see, you can have a nice long wide deck and you still have small wood to deal with. I don't know how I'm ever gonna win with this, but I guess that's what I gotta work with. I gotta work with it, I gotta use it. So anyways guys, this is my nice big deck with small wood. So this deck is actually it's a full length in feet here, so that's nice size that way. And then it is, I think it's 20 feet. That's a 20-foot deck. This comes together in pieces, guys. You can set this up with any, we can make this fit any firewood processor, guys, or any configuration you have. And it's a nice heavy build. It's 81X chain. There is a big motor on it. It's a 400cc motor on it. It's lots to drive this setup. And there's a couple of different ways we can plumb this in hydraulically. So right now, we have it tied into series with the live deck motor. So like whenever you run this deck runs. And after doing that, me and Jeremy and Trevor talked this morning, we don't like that. So we can use hydraulics from somewhere else, specifically something that's not going to be running, especially in a situation like this. So we have that deck set up there. This is going to be a stationary setup. You're going to fine grade, you're going to level that ground out really nice, and that is where you're going to set that, and that's where it's going to work. So this deck here isn't going to move. This isn't going to lift. So what we're going to do is we actually have a separate function control to lift the live deck cylinder. So those hoses will actually come up to this motor and it'll run this separately than this. And again guys, on our end of it, it's just playing around and finding out what works best and what works right for us. And again, if you're looking for another function on your firewood processor and you don't necessarily use the lift cylinders that much, you can put in a quick coupler there, and then you could do that with that too, like, so you can have an extra function if you needed it. But yeah, so that's what we got here, guys. This is a really cool setup too. Like if you're looking for a big firewood processor, this is a nice setup. It's a 60C. It's got a 16-foot conveyor on it. This is a detached conveyor. It's got a 20-foot disc screener, and then it goes into this great big 40-foot conveyor. So this is a nice package. This is somebody that's going to be doing a lot of wood on a professional level here. So that 40-foot elevator, again, it's huge. It goes up, I can't remember what the actual height of that is or what it goes up to. I want to say it's 25 feet or something. It's really tall. Big heavy axle under it, locking legs, dual cylinders. This has a hopper on the front of it, so you can see when it comes into the back of the DSC20 disc screener here, you have a lot of forgiveness here. You can put this in kind of any position or any configuration. So like this conveyor can go this way or that way. The DSC, the same thing. So there's a lot of adjustability with a system like this to make it fit your needs and make it fit your wood yard. And on the platform of the 60C, you're not going to find a better firewood processor right now for the money. This is a Cadillac of a machine to run. It's single joystick control. It's a really intuitive control. If you've never seen the control inside this Eastonmade 60C or 48C, the whole machine just runs on one joystick. It's so simple to run. It has the log rollers on it, the tip tray, the log eject. There's a lot of those things that if you've run a processor, you know how handy these things are to run, to have. Like if you have all those extra features on it, it saves you a pile of that simple, stupid, piddly little downtime that you have throughout the day. If you can solve that issue with a firewood processor, I think you've got it made. And I think we've done a pretty good job of it here. Anyways, guys, I'll go ahead and fire this up. I I'm not gonna run all the wood through it. I know the other guys want to run a bunch of wood through it. I'll run a couple of sticks through it for you. Again, I don't have a lot of big wood. We're just trying to clean some of the wood on one end of the pile is a little bit smaller and scraggly, so we're trying to clean some of that up. So that's kind of what we're into here, guys. We're running a 12-way wedge in it right now. So it has like the diamond pattern on the inside of it, and then 8 pieces around the outside of it. And again, like something like the small stuff on here, I'm probably just gonna split it in half up the conveyor. That stuff there, that beach will be just about perfect. And then the other stuff, again, the wedge is adjustable, so you can move it around and have it kind of be where you need it to be. Another thing too, guys, on these big processors, like we run a positive physical stop on this. Like if you're on this scale for firewood, the consistency of the firewood is the key here. You want to have consistent length pieces, you want to have consistent size pieces. So with that stop, it's not like you can overshoot it. If you have like a laser system or something like that, there's a lot of variance in here, especially if you're running the log in faster or slower. There's a lot of variance. I know this because we've done it. That's how I know. It's really difficult for a laser in this application where the motor is going to be spinning. If there's a user input, there's going to be spinning a different speed every time. It's really hard to catch that and have that precision, where if you have a hydraulic stop there, you know all the wood is exactly the length you need it to be. So it's just, again, in terms of being intuitive and user friendly, this is about as good as you're going to get with it. Anyways, guys, I'll go ahead, I'll fire this up. If you haven't done so, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe on the bottom. When you subscribe to the channel, guys, it helps the channel grow, it helps Eastonmade brand grow, and it just helps us bring our machines to more people. And I'm gonna keep you in tune with what's going on here at Eastonmade. Every time we have something cool like this, you're gonna get a notification on it that we have a new video up. So make sure you subscribe. Costs you nothing. It's just a matter of hitting the button on the bottom, and you'll know when we post a video. Anyways, guys, I'll go ahead, I'll fire this up, I'll show you how it runs, and we'll go from there. You can see here in this part where I move the wedge up and down here, and you can see how well that works just to clear the wedge, clear the wood underneath the wedge. And you see how open the back end of that machine is. This is really important for when you're running a processor, because you're going to have different size logs. You're going to have to go from a big piece to a small piece, and having the ability to easily adjust that wedge to where you need it to be is critical. It just saves you a lot of stopping the machine, clearing the wood out from underneath it. So the way this is set up, it works really, really nice. And you can see with this small wood here, I'm just splitting it in half. Like that's all we need to do with it. This stuff here is probably right around that 5 or 6 inch mark. So there's not much point in utilizing the whole 12-way wedge on. Like, you're obviously not going to be able to use the whole 12-way wedge. Right here, you can see that I am actually setting the saw height teach on this. So with any of your 40C or 60C machines, it has this teach function. So instead of cycling the saw all the way up or down, you can actually set it so the saw only comes just above the wood before the clamp lifts. So it just saves you a lot of time on the stroke. So a lot of the machines on the market right now, they have to either full stroke, go all the way down, all the way back up on the saw, or they're actually physically connected. So the saw and the clamp are physically connected, which in my opinion isn't really that great of a system. You can see the wood falling down right here, how good that live deck works. But that system where the saw and the clamp are actually attached like that, if you have a knot underneath the saw or a high spot of the log underneath the saw, and then you go to cut, that clamp doesn't really engage. So it's important to make sure that clamp engages
before it actually before this actually comes down to the top, because that's where you end up having blocks thrown with these big circular saws, and that instability when you're into the cut makes a big difference. If that saw tweaks or moves, there's a good chance you're going to cut into the infeed or into something else that you don't want to cut into. So the way this system's set up is, as soon as you clamp the log, it makes sure it takes a big bite into the wood. And then again, on the way back up, you can set the height. So in this small stuff like this, you can really save some time. You can see how handy that tip tray is too. Just works really nice, guys. So if you're into that last piece of wood and you just want to get it onto the, set it in nice is what you want to do. And just like this, you can do that at that last little bit. It keeps it from tipping in, so you get a nice square cut on it. Because you want to have your cuts as square as you can with a firewood processor. You can see here I have that, I set the height again. I thought that big beech was coming. I didn't see that little guy in there, so the height of the saw is a little bit wonky right now, but I think you'll see me adjust it here shortly. But again, guys, there's all these little features on these bigger processors, and that's why you want to spend the money to get one of these bigger machines, is just because they're a little more user-friendly, intuitive. You can see that block turned up on me. I'm gonna be able to shake the wedge here and get it out of there. See that piece fall out? So again, just those little design things are what you want to pay attention to when you're buying a firewood processor, especially one of this caliber. If you're spending this much money, you want to make sure that you're not screwing around in and out of the window. Obviously, with any firewood processor, you're going to have to do that a little wee bit, but the little features like the way that trough is set up at the back, having the log rollers, having the log eject, all that little downtime that you normally see in a lot of processors, you don't run into with the 48C and 60C. And the cab's really nice to sit in too. The cab's really well inside. When you're sitting in there, you don't hear a lot of the noise from the saw or the conveyor, so it's just really comfortable. The seat's nice to sit in. And see that tip tray working again. And I'm starting to utilize the center of this wedge here now. That one log that I'm into right now is a little bit bigger. And you can watch this cookie come off the end of this saw here. So that little piece doesn't end up in your wood pile. So you have a lot more consistent product when you send it to your customer. And you watch here, I can utilize the, I might need to get out here. Yeah, I think I need to get to the window here. That one turned kind of a little bit crooked on me, but I think that's the only one out of the whole bunch of them that actually had to manually intervene with. Typically you'd have a pickaroon in the cab of the machine. You can easily reach out the window and straighten something like that out. We're just doing PDI testing on this right now. We do every processor that goes out the door, we PDI it. It's a fairly rigorous bunch of tests we do and just checks that we do on them. So we run wood through each machine. We run quite a bit through each machine. I know some of the manufacturers don't do quite as much of that. You'll be able to see this log depth work here. Just keep your eye on the top right and you'll be able to see those logs come in. That's just setting a teach point for that bigger beech coming in there now. Make sure I have clearance for myself. It just takes a couple of seconds to do it. You can see how nice that rolls in there. It's actually I was actually surprised at how well that worked. I didn't think it was going to work as good as it did. So you can see this bigger beech, we're going to adjust the wedge up. So having that hydraulic wedge adjustment works really, really good, guys. It really does. And if you look at it too, when you're into our 12-way and 16-way wedge, there's nothing around the outside. Like some of the other machines that you're going to be running a 12-way or 16-way wedge have like a box around the outside of them, so you really limit yourself to how big of a piece of wood you can take. They'll have these big saws on them, but then the splitter can't handle the bigger round. So with this, with the way that we have this set up, you can really maximize the size of the wood going into the splitter here. And you can make nice looking wood. This is just this whole setup. So you can see it's kind of cool having the SDK 16, the DSC 20, then going into this big 40-foot hopper conveyor. How nicely the wood just kind of slides right out of that DSC 20. And pay attention to the very front part of this DSC-20. You see most of the scrap falls out in the first 10 feet. So depending on your application and what you want to do, most people that are going to be buying a DSC-20 are going to be loading this with a lot bigger machine, a lot bigger bucket when they go to deliver the wood. So if you have a big wide machine, a wheel loader or something, you're going to want to have a DSC-20. So when you dump the wood into it, the wood has time to trickle across it. Where if you're running a smaller skid steer, 75-inch bucket, something like that on it, you don't necessarily need to have that DSC-20, but it does help to get all the scraps out. And when you're done with that, you're gonna have a nice, clean load of wood to deliver to your clients. Like if you're looking at the longevity of a firewood business, the people that do incredibly well at this, that's typically what they do. They offer a high level of service and a high quality of product. They charge accordingly for it too, right? You see another log coming down off that top deck here. It just, like I said, it's just really cool to see that setup. And it's just a matter of bolting it together too, guys. It's fairly straightforward, fairly simple to put it together. Like I said, you probably about half a day to do this. But it just saves you from having to reload all the time. You're gonna spend a little bit extra money on this, but I think in terms of investment, you're gonna make it back in needing to have extra manpower or having guys be able to do other things, like say clean out be under the disc ring or do other things around the yard. If you've run a firewood business, you know that you can have a guy that kind of floats around and tidies things up here. So
my big, huge, humongous deck.
You didn't have to stop it for me.
No, I'm done.
I come out the other day and I was like, what the? This is weird. How do you move the logs? There was no chains on it or nothing.
Oh, really? Oh, it works awesome. Like I'm surprised how well that works. If we're gonna hook it up, that the live deck cylinder runs the auxiliary deck, and like even like that works freaking amazing. You'd be able to load that all up one guy and then be able to run for like an hour.
So have you got two different controls, a control for this deck and a separate control for that deck?
We can, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we have the switch inside for the live deck to lift it up and down.
Okay.
So we're gonna plumb into those cylinders so you can control them separately, but I don't even know if you have to. Like that works awesome.
I wouldn't change it then.
I don't know. Like there's to be preference at that time, at that point, whether the guy would want one or the other. We could do it both ways. Really, like. No, I'm really happy with that. That turned out really freaking amazing.
So does this still drop down and let the cookies out?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's
the whole setup.
Oh, this whole setup's a cool setup.
It is a really cool
It
setup.
is a nice setup.
The wood coming out the end's real fucking clean now.
Oh, it's
I
perfect.
should have waited to get my wood.
Yeah, that's exactly that.
I picked all the dry stuff off the backside of that pile.
That's what I told Wander. I said, you may as well wait till they have a machine set up, then load your wood when they have the disc screener and set up for sometime when it's perfectly clean for you. Yeah, no, I'm happy with that.
Cool. Neato.
Well, guys, everybody always seems to ask me what my favorite part of the job is. Besides getting out to the shows and like talking to people and visiting with people, this is probably the coolest part of it. Is like that turned out awesome. Like John did a great job on that. That works incredible. If you're a large scale producer, you need one of those. That saves. You could put probably a triaxle load of wood on that and have it run in and save yourself a pile in and out. Like it just, I didn't expect it to work as well as it did, honestly. I find a lot of things are like that. Myself, I'm very skeptical of things. Like if anyone knows me, like I'm very, very skeptical about things. I'm normally always optimistic, but I'm always skeptical. But that, I'll tell you, that deck worked good. That worked really, really incredibly well. Like I was talking to Brady there, and like we can hook that up to live deck cylinder so you have separate control over one or the other, but I don't know if you'd need it or not. And at that point it would be preference, and to do it one way or the other, like to do it either way, guys, is easy. Like it's just a couple of short jumper hoses. Like it's simple to do that whatever way you want that hooked up. So like we can do it either way, and it's very, very basic. And again, if you want one of these built for a different machine, whether it be an Eastonmade or a Bell's or any other manufacturer, as long as we have the dimensions on of what you want, relatively like the live deck spacing and stuff, we can make this work. And then from there, it's just a matter of making sure you have the final grade down here correct and compacted. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Like anybody that's going to be buying one of these machines is going to have one of these decks is going to have a tractor or a skid steer or something around. Doing this part's easy. This is probably in their wheelhouse very comfortably, and then it's just when you get it, guys, it's going to come in some pieces. But again, it's fairly easy. You got to string the chains onto it, put the bolts in, bolt it together. You maybe be I don't know, a day, maybe half a day bolting that together. Yeah, that's yeah, really happy, really happy with that. So again, guys, if you haven't done so, give her a thumbs up, hit the subscribe on the bottom. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. If you do subscribe to the channel, you're gonna know when we come out with all this cool stuff. Whenever we're doing something new, whatever we have going on around here at Eastonmade, that's normally when I post a video. So yeah, if you hit the subscribe button, it's gonna help us, gonna help our reach, let people know about the channel, and I sure would appreciate that. Anyways, guys, I really hope you liked the video. I'll see you on the next one.